Blue was born on the small Scottish island of Taransay during the filming of the original BBC series Castaway. Ron Copsey, one of the competitors, had taken his Border Collie with him onto the island, and she gave birth to a litter during the series. 4 of the pups were taken off the island by the SSPCA to be rehomed, but after the sad death of his own dog, Ron decided to keep one of the pups himself and called it Boo. When Ron and Boo left the island to return to the mainland, they thought they were going to settle down to a reasonably normal life together. However, media demands, an increasing workload that necessitated a lot of travel, and the need to live in Twickenham in London quickly made Ron realise that he wasn't going to be able to give a good lifestyle to a young, up-and-coming Border Collie puppy. Ron contacted Border Collie Rescue and asked us if we could take Boo into our care. We agreed, and Ron brought him up to our offices in Richmond. Boo was 6 months old at the time, and we put him through our normal assessments, realising very quickly that he had tremendous potential as a working sheepdog. Shortly after Boo came into our care, we received an application from a farm in Swaledale who wanted a dog to work the farm, sheep, cattle and general stock. The farm was also a visitor centre and open to the public, and any dog going there would not only get the chance to work, but also the opportunity to meet and mix with a lot of people. Boo seemed an obvious candidate for the job, so after changing his name to Blue to aid anonymity, we rehomed him to the Calvert family of Hazel Brow Farm at Low Row.
My name's David Calvert. I farm at Hazel Brow Farm here in Swaledale. And this is my dog Blue. I got him as a puppy off Border Collie Rescue a number of years ago now, and he's been one of the best dogs we've ever had on the farm. Really keen to work, loves rounding things up, anything from cattle, sheep, pigs and geese at times. As I say, it didn't take a lot of training, he more or less brought himself in, and you could tell from an early age that he was going to make a good dog. He's really strong and fit, just jump over gates as if they aren't there. Best way to, to get him on side.
Yeah,
to bring
that's
that
right. Yeah, no, absolutely.
Hazel Brow comprises of about 200 acres of land. Originally it consisted of 4 farms, but the way farming's gone, like small farms couldn't survive, and so the smaller farms have been added to Hazel Brow, and as I say, we now farm about 200 acres. The farm's been in the family for about 3 generations. My dad's aunt originally farmed Hazel Brow, which consisted of about 25 acres in those days. And when my dad left school, came to work for my aunt, helped out on the farm, and then my dad took the tenancy of Hazel Brow once he got married, and we farmed about 25 acres up till about the 60s, and by that time myself and my brother were getting old enough to do some work, so the farm gradually expanded, and they're now about 200 acres that we farm. The farm ranges from like low-level land down by the river up to the fells up on the top, and the fells are where the Swaledale sheep spend most of the time. In winter, providing the weather's not too bad, they'll spend most of the winter up on the fells. And that just proves how hardy the Swaledale sheep are, really. The visitor centre opened on a small scale. It could be about 15 years ago now. We have a holiday cottage on the farm, and most of the people that used to come to the farm for holidays would like to come down and watch the cows being milked, or just see what was happening around the farm. We could see there was an opportunity perhaps to develop this a bit further. And for a few years we just did it on a fairly small scale, but we got a tourism grant to you know, to build it up a bit more, and we put a tea room on and started doing guided tours of the farm and things like that. So it goes down really well with people. We just want good summers to get the people into the dales.
The home we chose for Blue, from hundreds of applications, was picked because we felt it was the best one to bring out his potential and give him what he needed, and also related to the sort of environment that he'd been used to in his puppyhood on the island of Taransay. Blue would have been frustrated in a pet home. His working drive was far too strong for him to have settled as a pet. He's a fit, strong, healthy dog in the prime of his life. And he's happy. That's what it's all about.